Hey there, this is Erica from Ever Educating, and this channel is teaching tips, tools, ideas, and resources for college instructors. So if that's you, go ahead and click like and subscribe below so you don't miss out on future content. But today we're talking about prepping for a course that you're teaching using free materials that are ready-made for you. So I'm going to tell you about the trifecta to use to find these materials, as well as how to organize them on your LMS system. And so to start and dive right in, the first one that I really recommend is using public domain tools, right? So public domain materials to use in your classroom to teach whatever it is that you're teaching in class. And so the public domain means that you can use the materials with no issue with copyright, right? You can use as much as you want of the material. And so obviously you can go online here and find tons of public material available to you. I recommend Gutenberg in order to find whole books that are free to use for you and your students. And so in this way, you can go ahead and say, let's say in my case, I'm teaching literature, let's talk about fairy tales. Rather than buying a collection, go ahead and go to this website and you can find all of the Grimm fairy tales free because it's no longer copyrighted. It's in the public domain. So for you, see what is available for you to use for free, easy access online. Now, similar to that, there's also OER, Open Educational Resources, which I've talked about before. I'll link below my video about it of where you can find this content. But once again, it's free to use for your teaching purposes. So you go to one of the collections, say OER Commons, and you look for, hey, I'm teaching this course, I'm looking for this type of material, what's available for me to use? There can be whole textbooks that are e-textbooks, PDFs, manuals, templates that you can just use in your class free of charge. And so this I highly recommend as well, because again, it's free for your students and for you. And the third one in the trifecta is, of course, your library databases. So you can go ahead and see what do I have available for me, what readings can I just download. Now this is copyrighted, right, a lot of the time, but you can use up to 10% of, for example, a book. So you can go, all right, here's this ebook, let's go ahead and see this chapter. I'm gonna download it as a PDF and then upload it to the LMS for my students to learn from. And so that way, again, it's free of charge, easy for your students to use, and you're staying within that limit of the 10% if it's copyrighted material for educational use. So these top three are where you go to find this free materials for your classroom. Now, of course, this assumes that your students have easy access to Wi-Fi on campus and even at home. So if that's not the case for you, then obviously these ideas won't work as well. But then once you have the content, again, since you're downloading a lot of it, you want to make sure that's really organized on your LMS. So I recommend having, let's say, a module that has a mastered list. So here on this one page, week 1, here are the materials from online. Week 2, here are the materials, and so on. And then in your actual modules, so I do a module per week, for example, on Canvas, you can have it in there as well. So here are the week 1 materials, here's module 2 with the week 2 materials, and so on. So your students can find it really easily, as can you. Okay, so you might want to actually organize your laptop documents as well if you save it to your actual computer. And I do have a blog post about organizing your files that I'll link below, but it's really the key here is the LMS more so than your own laptop, right? And so in this way, you can have all the material really easy to use for you and your students. Now, one thing to consider because of accessibility reasons is if you're downloading PDFs that are not e-reader friendly and you have students who need it to be, you want to make sure that you can talk to your disabilities or disability services and say, hey, I need these materials to be formatted to be e-reader friendly, right? So you want to make sure if that's the case, that you need it, that you have that resource on campus. And if you don't, then you have to plan accordingly. Find ones that are already e-reader friendly or find a tool to use to convert it on your own. Of course, that takes out more time. So it would be best probably just look for materials that are already e-reader friendly for your students who might need it to be that way. If you're new to teaching, I do have a whole playlist that's specifically for new instructors to start there. Of course, I have also plenty of content on here that can be helpful to you. So I'll link a few specific videos below as well that you can find helpful that connects to the content of today's video. Click like if you found this video helpful and subscribe if you haven't already and if you want to make sure to get future content on your subscription page. And if you have any tips for where to find free content for classes, go ahead and let us know in the comments below. I'm sure we'd all appreciate it.